Focus. I think we're good. All right. Take one. And only, hopefully, please. No. No. This is not take one anymore. So, what's up, YouTube? We are back with another video, and I kind of have some news for y'all. So, I am moving. Not cities. I'm just moving to a different apartment. But I was thinking that I wanted to document the process, because it's actually, if anyone's moved apartments before or even moved into their first apartment, like, it's a lot more work, and it's a lot of work where like you don't really realize as much as it is until you start like doing it, right? So I'm gonna do 2 videos for this actually. I wanted to have one to kind of like just like tell you guys, if you didn't already know, like some good like tips and tricks when you're moving apartments. And part 2, I'm gonna take you through actually the apartments that I looked at, and you know, kind of give you my feedback and kind of let you know what options I'm working with there. But that's the following video. This is video 1. So mind you, I currently live in Brooklyn, New York, and I'm not looking to leave this borough. So I'm still gonna be looking at strictly Brooklyn apartments, right? So these tips and tricks might be more so focused on apartment hunting in NYC, but you can definitely apply them to anywhere you guys are currently living. I think they would definitely help anywhere. Okay, so the first thing that you guys want to make sure that you do or have is all of your documents. You want to make sure you have them ready. And this is particularly for if you're in a larger city, because you're gonna have to act fast when you get ready to apply places, and so you'll want to just have all of your documents together, so you don't have to worry about finding this and searching for that. So the documents are going to vary by each like broker, by each like, you know, management company, but typically they kind of want the same things. Most places want like a W-2, a copy of your bank statements, like your checking and your savings, most recent like pay stubs, and proof of employment. Most places also want to do a criminal background check and also run a credit report, in which they have providers that they use, you know, for those services, but they'll usually just charge a fee along with the application fee usually, where we would pay in order for them to, you know, get those done. Do keep in mind that there is a income requirement when you're applying to apartments. Most brokers want you to, you know, have a salary of at least, you know, this much, and, you know, a certain like credit score, right? When you don't meet those requirements though, they will ask for what is called a guarantor, which essentially is a co-signer of sorts. It's basically someone who financially would be there if you can't pay your rent for whatever reason. They would kind of take that over. That being said, that'll probably be included in your application for them to apply as well, should you need one. And they usually have higher requirements financially, right? So they need to make a bigger salary, or have a higher credit score than you do, in order for companies to kind of feel like, oh, okay, we're secure in them being, you know, their representative should something happen with the applicant and they can't pay the rent. So yeah, all of those documents, like, you're gonna want to have like ready to go, especially if you're in a larger market, because there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna wanna apply to places. And so you're just gonna wanna be able to attach whatever and just send off your application. You don't want to waste the time having to retrieve all these things. You want to just have them ready to go and bam. So I'll also say when you're looking for an apartment, and this is kind of like obvious kind of as well, but know what you want. But I will throw in there, be ready to compromise. I think we all have had like dreams of, you know, how our apartments are gonna look. Depending on what's available, we might have to keep dreaming. And so you wanna be sure that despite what's, you know, available, you really get the core things that you really want, and everything else will like fall into place. One thing that I did this last time that actually helped a lot when I like was doing it in the process was making a checklist of things that like I absolutely had to have, that I would really like, but it's not like a deal breaker. And then like some things where it's like, oh, I want it, but if I don't have it, like whatever. That kind of really helps, especially when you're comparing apartments. That really helps you get to the whole like what you really want, and like what you're really like, what's pulling you this way, what's like pulling you that way. Like that really helps for you to like make a good decision there. When you're actually touring apartments, I can say a lot of things here, but the main thing, two things. How many things? Two things. The main things here are inspect. Look for any issues. If the walls are dirty, that's a no. You know, if there's any cracks, any machines or anything that's broken, like inspect, because you want to make sure, okay, I saw this. Hey, is this going to get fixed? I saw that this is not working. Hey, what's going on with this? Oh, these walls are dirty. Is someone going to clean these walls or repaint them? Like, what's going on? Like, you know, my second thing to go along with that, which I kind of was doing towards the end of that previous rant, is ask questions. Like, ask questions. You don't want to be surprised about anything. If you have any questions at all about the apartment itself, the application, the process, like, you know, the moving process, the move out process, like any questions, ask them. You don't want to be surprised about anything if you can help it, right? So you just want to have an accurate, like, okay, I know exactly what I'm getting myself into. Okay, I lied, two more things. So also, depending on, you know, what website you use, if they have any kind of reviews on the listing, or like in like the apartment building, read the reviews, get that tea. I promise you, you know, people in a new age, people like to put the little filters, you know, on the pictures of the listings and, you know, all that stuff. And then you'll read a review and they'll be like, this place had roaches.
The ghetto.
Not doing it. Read the reviews, get the tea, so you can either know to keep it moving, or if you still want to go to the place or tour the place, you can tour it, but be sure to ask, you know, who's giving you the tour, like, hey, so I read that. And also, if a place doesn't have a layout of any sorts, like online or anywhere, be prepared to do measurements when you're touring a place. So that'll really help with, you know, your furniture and like just how you might plan to like organize some things. Like I know phones have the measurement apps. You can bring your own measuring tape. Like, I think that's helped me as far as like my layout design looking for places. So, which if you care about it, like that can turn into like a make or break kind of thing when you're looking for an apartment. So the last thing I'm gonna advise here is to be realistic about your search, particularly your budget. You wanna make sure your budget is tight, okay? Because you don't wanna be in a lease and, you know, you're biting off more you can chew and you gotta do that for a whole year. right? It's not gonna, you're gonna be miserable for a whole year, and it's not gonna help. I don't even have the words. Like, I don't even want to say help. Like, it's not the move. That being said, make sure you pay close attention to any kind of like rent deals that's going on, right? And so, for example, this place I'm in now, actually, I call it a pandemic deal, because I thought it was like too good to be true. I actually got 2 months off. My last 2 months off, I didn't have to pay. Like, it was part of the deal, right? And so my net rent, which sometimes they'll advertise that, my net rent was a lot lower than what I should have been paying, essentially. However, when you're paying the rent, the months that you are paying, you're not paying the net rent. You're paying the monthly rent that balances out after the end to become the net rent. So if the net rent, I'm not gonna do any math right now, but like if the net rent is, you know, $1,000 and you get like a few months off, you're not paying $1,000, you're paying more than $1,000 when you are paying the rent. And so that could throw your budget like all the way off, right? So be mindful of that, because it might seem like a good idea in the beginning, but once you're like living it, it could be a totally different thing. Yes, but these are a few things that I've learned throughout my apartment hunting process that I've done year after year after year after year after year. I'm gonna stop because that makes me sound a little old saying the year after year after year. Like, yikes. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, y'all. As always, if you like what you saw, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Again, I will be doing a part 2 to this video, and I'm gonna be showing you the apartments that I looked at. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the things that I was looking for, and yeah, you'll get to actually see the apartment that I'm moving to. I'm not gonna tell you which one it is, but you're gonna see it within the video. So thanks for tuning in, y'all, and I will see you all later. All right.